The ICU with no improvements. At one point, the doctor said his brain was swelling and they needed to operate. Pastor Jerry, they said he had sepsis. They couldn't detect which bacteria was causing the sepsis. His intestine twisted. They said it is volvulus. At that time, the doctor was saying they needed to do a surgery to cut off that bit of the intestine that was twisting. My name is Pamela, and I'm doing this testimony from Lagos, Nigeria. What a Roy truly cannot do does not exist. I'm here to say thank you to a Roy that saved my brother from untimely death. We ended 2024. Sure, we had said our Happy New Year, even though it was New Year 31st, because the plan was not to see each other till New Year. But on the 28th, I think we spoke to my brother last on a Friday. Then on Saturday, while my sister tried to call him, he didn't pick. And he's not the kind of person that when you try to call him, he wouldn't call back. On Sunday morning, my sister, since we stay around each other, my sister said she was going to go to his house, that he had not still called back and he wasn't picking. On her way to his house, his neighbor called that they had not seen him since Friday, which is 2 days since nobody had seen him. My sister told the neighbor that she was on his way to the house. He should try to knock on the door. The neighbor calls back to say that he can hear his phone ringing inside his room, but he wasn't responding. And my sister told him to break down the door. Pastor Jerry, my brother was found on the floor, a 38-year-old man, healthy. As of Friday, strong. He was found on the ground with a stroke. He had been there since Friday. Nobody saw him. Immediately my sister got there, she got on the floor and started praying the O-Ed prayer. Ed will not receive his body. We rushed him to the hospital. He was taken to the ICU. He was in the ICU with no improvements. At one point, the doctor said his brain was swelling and they needed to operate. But by this time, we're all on the fire altar, calling on a Roy, the God that sees us. We held on to the word and we kept praying. It was one battle to the other. But somehow the word kept coming. Initially started with the brain clot in his brain. One of those days as we were on the fire altar, Pastor Jerry declared that brain clots are reversing.
Blood clot in the brain, blood clot in the brain, blood clot in the brain. The devil is a liar. I announce by the mercies of God, let it be reversed.
And after a couple of days, the doctor told us that brain swelling was reducing and they don't need to operate anymore. Then next came sepsis. Pastor Jerry, they said he had sepsis. They were treating. They couldn't detect which bacteria was causing the sepsis and kept giving him the most expensive drugs I could think of with no relief. And we stood on the fire altar, I and my siblings. We kept praying and believing God and holding on to his word. And of course, his word came again. Sepsis is reversing.
Sepsis, sepsis, sepsis. I announce, let it be reversed.
And somehow, during that same period, Pastor Jerry was praying against everyone in the ICU coming out.
Anybody in the ICU, I announce, come out right now.
And after 24 days in the ICU, Pastor Jerry, he was taken to the ward. He couldn't recognize anyone. He couldn't speak. With the one-sided paralysis, he couldn't move. But after we were moved to the ward, we remained on the fire altar and kept praying. And the devil came again. His intestine twisted. They said it is volvulus. Pastor Jerry, what is volvulus? But as we remained on the fire altar, believing in the power of a Roy, one of those days you declared that volvulus is reversed.
Volvulus, volvulus, volvulus. If you want the war, put it on the live stream. And the devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed.
I screamed that day and quickly recorded it and sent it to my family group. At that time, the doctor was saying they needed to do a surgery to cut off that bit of the intestine that was twisting, because he's not moving, it could happen again. But because the word had come, we rejected it and we held fast onto the word. And the volvulus reversed on its own. Pastor Jerry, you were discharged from the hospital. I'm back here on behalf of my brother and my family to say thank you and Lord. Thank you for not allowing the devil to laugh at us.